welcome all the students for today's session. So, in this lecture video, we are going to discuss about the calculation of Sensex and Nifty. And you know very well about Sensex and Nifty are the base indices in India, and we will have to know about the calculation mechanism behind the values of Bombay Stock Exchange index value, that is Sensex, and NSE index value, that is Nifty. The agenda for the topic is to calculate the value of NSE and BSE base indices. So, anyway, you know about what is the base indices for NSE, that is Nifty, and the base indices index for BSE, that is Sensex. To understand the mechanism involved in the calculation of base indices, there are different mechanisms that is followed for the calculation of index values. So, now today we will understand what is the mechanism behind the calculation of index values of BSE and NSE base indexes. The outcome of this particular topic is to able to calculate the value of any index, not just the index of BSE or NSE, but also you will be able to calculate the index value of anything of any stock exchange. Also aware about the various market indices, maybe at the moment you may not know about what are the different indexes that are available. So, now in this class we are going to discuss about what are the different indexes are available for the investors for trading purpose. So, market indices are the combination of the various market indexes. If you say, for example, the National Stock Exchange, there are various indexes are there, like base index, that is Nifty, and the other indexes like bank index, Nifty IT, or Nifty pharmaceutical sector. So, in this way there are indexes are available. So, all these indexes are collectively known as the indices. Now, what is a market index? Basically, a market index is a portfolio of assets, but the market index is referred to as the hypothetical portfolio of assets. The reason is the index, the stocks are varying from time to time. That is why it is known as a hypothetical portfolio, and this hypothetical portfolio is considered based on various parameters. Now, in this video we are going to discuss about what is the parameter for the stocks to be included in a particular index, and based on that the market index is constituted. And as I told you, there are different mechanisms that are followed for the calculation of indexes. So, the basic mechanisms are like the market capitalization weighting, means market capitalization is the one of the parameter through which we will weigh the indexes, and also the revenue weighing. So, we will weigh the index based on the revenues, and also some of the other things like float weighing and fundamental weighing. So, these are all the different weight parameters that are applied for indexes for the calculation of various indexes. And weighing is a method of adjusting the individual impact of items in an index. So, the calculation of purpose we will use these weighing items. Now, let us see the basic some of the examples of market indexes or indices. Nifty, NSE top 50 companies are included in this Nifty, and you know very well about the this particular index. Okay, that is the top companies of NSE. And then Nifty Bank, it is also called as Bank Nifty, and this includes the banking shares of the National Stock Exchange Limited. So, all the banking shares are included in this particular bank index. And Nifty IT, it is National Stock Exchange Information Technology shares. All the information technology shares represent this Nifty IT. All the FMCG stocks represent the Nifty FMCG index. All the medium capital shares will be representing the mid cap 50 of Nifty. And in the same way, Sensex also consisting of various indices. So, they are Sensex, that is Bombay Stock Exchange top 30 companies are representing this particular Sensex, and medium capital companies that are trading in the Bombay Stock Exchange are included in this particular mid cap, BSE mid cap. And BSE Sensex next 50. So, BSE Sensex next 50 means the next best performers after the Nifty 50, sorry, Bank X 30, Bombay Stock Exchange Index 50 stocks are included in this particular index. So, BSE Sensex next 50 means after the best 30 stocks of Bombay Stock Exchange, whatever the stocks that comes under will be included in this particular list. Now, we should understand what is the criteria for including the stocks in the index and calculating the index value. First thing is a listing history. So, what is the history of a particular stock that is introduced in a particular stock exchange is one of the parameter for including in the index. If the history is huge, which means the stock has been introduced in a particular stock exchange for a longer period of time, that will give an edge for the stock for being included in this list. That is one parameter, that is listing history. So, this history must be at least 1 year. So, at least the stock must be introduced in the Sensex for about 1 year, or Nifty for about 1 year. The track record. Company should have a good track record. Track record in the sense in terms of its profitability, in terms of its sales, and in terms of its goodwill, the market share. So, all these are the various parameters so which indicates the good track record of a company, and if company possesses a good track record, that is also one of the criteria for being included in this list. And then market capitalization. So, the market capitalization is one of the parameter for calculating or selecting the stocks into calculate index, and so wherein what happens is the company should have among 100 market capitalizations of BSE, and each company should have more than 0.5 of the total market capitalization of BSE index. So, there will be certain market capitalization for the BSE index. Out of the market capitalization of the BSE index, the particular stock should have at least 0.5% of the total market capitalization for being included in the list. And also the company should be one among the 100 market capitalization of BSE, means whatever the top capitalized companies are there in BSE, and it must include in that top 100 list, then only it will get the eligibility for being included in the index. And the frequency of trading, another parameter. So, how frequently that a stock being traded by the various traders is also one of the parameter for being included in the calculation of index value. So, if a particular stock, if a stock like you consider the ICICI Bank, or you consider the Reliance, or you consider any other stock, basic stocks in India like Axis Bank or like Divi's Laboratories. So, these are the different stocks which you can name where frequently trading happens. Trading volumes are very high. So that is another parameter for being included in the calculation of index. See, one of the important point that you can understand here is, in sometimes market will be impacted by certain stocks also. The reason is this particular point, that is frequency of trading. If a frequency of trading is more, then the index value will be considered for that particular stock. So that is the reason why. So sometimes if one in some particular stocks, when they goes up, go down, like Reliance and ICICI Bank, so these are the base stocks that influences the index value, and that's the reason why even when the stock falls, then it will have a more impact on the index value. Industrial representation. So it should be the leader in the industry. So then it will qualify. It will be qualified for the calculating the index value. So which means, let's say consider in a banking. In private sector banking, the SBI is the top performer, we can say. And also in private sector banking, we can say ICICI Bank is the top performer. In the same way, in various industries, there are top performers. So these top performers are also performing in these industries is another criteria for being included in the calculation of index value. And then market capitalization. It is also the total worth of all outstanding shares of a company, and means the total worth of the shares that are issued by the company. So it is nothing but the total number of shares multiplied by the market value of the share. It will give you the market capitalization. So that value is also another important parameter for being included in this list. So what I would like to say here is, if you want to calculate an index value, then you should understand which are the stocks that are being included in this particular calculation. On what parameters that this particular list is prepared, means these are the parameters through which a list is prepared. Hope you have understand this. And also there is a formula, market capitalization, the number of shares outstanding into market price of shares. This is nothing but market capitalization. Now another important thing for the calculation of index value is calculation of free float market capitalization. Now let's understand what is a free float market capitalization. I'll tell you the concept with a small example. If there is a company XYZ Limited issued shares of 10,000, out of which 2,000 shares held by government, 5,000 by directors of the company, and remaining 3,000 are available in the open market for trading, and the market price of the share is 100 rupees. So out of this information, what we can understand here is, so total company shares are 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is the total shares issued by the company total. And then out of which 2,000 shares are held by the government. So government may or may not trade actively in the market, that's the point to be understood. And the other one is 5,000 shares are held by the directors, and only 3,000 shares are open for public, open for market trading. So which means if at all you want to enter into this particular stock, means you want to invest your shares in the market, then how many shares are available for you, means this only 3,000 shares. So you may have a misconception that I can purchase any number of shares of a company. No, you can see this clear example wherein only 3,000 number of shares can be purchased by any individual on the outside. Otherwise, you can't get more shares. and in case even if you want to get more shares, then you are supposed to buy these shares at a very high premium price. That is why the openly available shares are only 3,000 only. So, that is why these shares are known as open shares for market trading. And the market price of share is nothing but the price at which the share is trading in the market is market price of share. So, here from this we can calculate the market capitalization. So, market capitalization is nothing but the total number of shares issued by the company multiplied by the market value of the share. So, total shares are 10,000 shares and the market price is just 1,000 rupees, 100 rupees. That is why 10,000 multiplied by 100 is equal to 10 lakhs. And now, it is very important to understand the free float market capitalization, because the market capitalization is the base parameter for calculating the index value in the olden days. But today, the major indices are being calculated based on the free float market capitalization method. That is why you should understand what is the meaning of a free float market capitalization. A free float market capitalization is nothing but the capitalization of the freely available shares. So, from this example, what are the number of shares that are freely available means only 3,000. So, 3,000 multiplied by 100, that is market price of share, is nothing but the free float market capitalization, that is 3 lakhs. Though the capitalization is 10 lakhs, but the free float market capitalization is only 3 lakhs. Now, come to the point, calculation of Sensex. So, how do we calculate the value of Sensex? So, the value of Sensex is nothing but every time when you see the newspaper or in the news that Sensex value is 30,000, 40,000 and the Sensex has gained 400 points or Sensex lost 600 points, this kind of news you will see in the newspapers or any broadcast media. Now, let us understand how to calculate the index value. The Sensex calculation is practiced since 1986. From ever since 1986, the calculation of Sensex is being happening. Initially, it had been calculated using market capitalization method, but it is now changed to free float market capitalization, just now we discussed. And the capitalization since from 2003, from 2003 onwards, it is being calculated from, that means as a free float market capitalization method. Hence, these days Sensex is calculated using free float market capitalization of 30 major listed companies. Just now let us recall the basis for calculation of this including in this list. So, the basis we have discussed now, and all these base parameters must be satisfied like industry topper and the capitalization requirements, market capitalization requirements, all these parameters must be satisfied, then only it will be qualified for being included in the calculation of a Sensex value. And the base value must be available for calculating the index value, and the base value for the calculation of index is considered as for the year 1978 and 79 value for Sensex calculation. So, for the Sensex calculation 1978 and 79 base year value only will be taken, that is 100. And Sensex value will be calculated for every 15 seconds. Now, let us see the formula for calculation of Sensex. So, Sensex is the sum of free float market capitalization of 30 major companies of BSE multiplied by the index value in 1978 and 79 as I told you, this value remains constant for the calculation of Sensex. And this value is nothing but 100 from the standard observations. And then market capitalization value in 1789. So, that is again been considered here. We will calculate this also. Again we have taken the same example, 10,000 outstanding shares of a company, and out of which 5,000 are available. So, now let us take an example, consider an example for calculating the Sensex value. So, for calculating we have taken this example, suppose BSE index consists of only 2 stocks. So, here for a rough calculation of Sensex value we have taken that index is consisting only 2 stocks. But in fact, Sensex consists of how many stocks? 30 stocks. But for example, for the calculation of index value, we have taken only 2 stocks. Those are X and Y. And the company X has 10,000 outstanding shares, and out of which only 5,000 are available for trading in the open market, which means the openly available shares for this company X are only 5,000. So, this 5,000 must be used for calculation of free float market capitalization. And then market price of share is 100 rupees given in the problem, and the company Y has 5,000 outstanding shares. So, the company Y total outstanding shares are 5,000, and out of which 2,000 shares are held by the promoters and 3,000 are open for trading, which means 3,000 are the freely available shares for this Y company. The market price of the share is given as 10 rupees, and market capitalization during 1978 and 79 is 5 lakhs. So, market capitalization is already given in the problem, that is 1978 and 79, which is 5 lakhs. And the index value in 1978 and 79 is a standard value, that is 100. Now, how to calculate the Sensex value means we can observe here. For the stock X, they issued 10,000, but the market price is 100, and finally market capitalization is nothing but a product of issued stocks and the market price. That is why, which is equal to this 10 lakhs. And for the same Y is 5,000 issued stocks and 50 is the market price, and finally the market capitalization is 2,50,000. And calculation of free float market capitalization, because Sensex is now calculated based on the free float market capitalization method. That is why we must consider only the free float shares. So, now let us consider the free float shares that are available in this problem. For X, free float shares are only 5,000 and the market price is 100. And that is why multiplying the free float shares and the market price gives you the free float market capitalization, that is 5 lakhs. And for the same Y is 2,000 issued stocks and 50 is the market value and market price, and finally the market capitalization, free float market capitalization is 1 lakh. So, using this example we can calculate the Sensex value, that is the sum of free float market capitalization, because we need to sum up all the stocks free float market capitalization here. So, that is why the X free float capitalization is 5 lakhs and Y free float capitalization is 1 lakh. Finally, 6 lakhs is the free float market capitalization for this portfolio. And assume that the market capitalization in 1978 and 79 is 5 lakhs and index value is 100. So, finally, Sensex value is nothing but the free float market capitalization multiplied by the index value during 1978 and 79 divided by the market capitalization during that particular year. So, the market capitalization during that year is 5 lakhs given in the problem. That is why the total final Sensex value is 120. So, hope you have understand this. Now, let us see the small value video on index calculation. Now, for the same problem, let us calculate the index value of Nifty. Of course, the same method is applied here also. So, the method is free float market capitalization, and here also it includes, it is assumed as including two major changes, because the base year for Nifty is 1995 and base value is 1000. So, base year and the base value is changed here, and Nifty represents the 50 major companies of NSE. Of course, for the calculation of Nifty, we would consider the 50 best performers in that particular in various industries. As I told you, criteria for considering the stocks into calculation of base major index values like Nifty and Sensex earlier. Now, let us see the formula of Nifty. The same formula, the sum of free float market capitalization, the sum of free float market capitalization of 50 major stocks multiplied by the index value in 1995, but here we should consider only the index value 1995 and also its market capitalization value in 1995 base year. And by applying the same example, we can see, but the market capitalization during 1995 is a standard value which must be taken as a standard one, which is 8 lakhs, and index value in 1995 is 200 to be considered for calculation. In this example, the company X issued 10,000 stocks, market price is 100. So, these are all the market capitalizations values. But for the calculation of Nifty, what is required is free float market capitalization is required. So, now let us consider, let us calculate the free float market capitalization using these values. For company X, free float stock is only 5,000 and the market price is 100. So, finally, free float market capitalization is 5 lakhs. And for Y, it is 2,000 shares of the free stocks that are available for trading, and the market price is 50 and 1 lakh is the free float market capitalization. Okay. So, now free float market capitalization of company X and Y, while calculation we got 5 lakhs and 1 lakh. Collectively, the free float market capitalization is 6 lakhs. Now, also for calculating the index value, we need the base index value. So, that is base index value for Nifty is 8 lakhs and the index value is 200. So, base index market capitalization is 8 lakhs and index value is 200. Now, finally, while applying the formula, the value for the Nifty is 150. In this way, we will calculate the index value for various indexes. So, here in this way, we have calculated the index value for Nifty, and in the same way, we also can calculate the index value for any index of your choice. Let me conclude this. The market index is a portfolio of different assets. So, and it is calculated on certain weights like market capitalization weighing, revenue weighing, float weighing and fundamental weighing, etc. And Nifty and Sensex values are calculated based on the free float market capitalization. Okay. Now, let us see a small quiz on this particular topic. So, what is Nifty stands for? Neat, informative, feasible, timely yours. Share prices vary due to the variability of index value. Do you think it is true or false? Yes, it is false, because the share prices only will influence the index value, but not the index will influence the share. What is the base year for the Nifty? So, 1995 is the base year for Nifty. And what is the base value of Sensex in the year 1978? It is 100. So, now that is all for today's session, and thank you for watching.